understanding of the screen's functions that is
All right,
beyond this
guys. So
simpler.
here we go. We're going to start the game off. Welcome to Paranoia.
Yay!
Yeah, demand enthusiasm. Thank you.
Woo! Happy!
All right, so I'll be the GM for this game. I'm Chase, and I'll be playing friend computer. Uh, Along with me, I have my friends. You know what? I'll let them introduce themselves. We'll start going down the line with Vleep Vloop. Who are you, and who are you really?
I am Fleet Floop, a nameless clone that is super happy. And I'm actually Michael Paranoia. But
Great to have you here. Up next is Gord. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. Hi, I'm Gord. I'm just a lonely clone, and my real name's Elmer.
Awesome,
Probably
awesome.
won't find too many of those anymore.
True that. Then we have Tark,
Hi, Tark. Hi, dumb clone. But my real name's Chris.
and that's my brother. I don't know why I have him along with this ride. He's special. Next up is Horthol. Say hello, Horthol.
I am Horthol. I'm actually Aaron.
And you get one treason star for not saying hello, Horthol. You failed me. Say you're sorry.
Sorry, friend computer.
Thank you. So how you doing, Aaron?
Doing all right.
Glad to hear that. And last but not least, we have Triangle Sigma Naught.
Hi, I'm Triangle Sigma Naught. Also, Stefan. I'm Porthal's brother. I'm a lonely clone who likes long walks on the beach, and I stream at twitch.tv/Pongo.
Awesome,
Insert shameless plug.
as you should. Always welcomed around
full
here.
name. Say the full name in case they try and find you.
Twitch.tv/Pongo. PONGOHM.
Beautiful. Wonderful. Glad to have you all here. So, we've already knocked out the character names, the clearance levels, uh, your sectors, and for most of y'all, whatever kind of gender you want to be it male, female, X, attack helicopter. No one cares really. You get to be who you want to be. In Paranoia, I don't even care because if you even try to bring it up, that's pretty much gonna be treason. And in this game, we all know treason is punishable by death. So we get to avoid those pesky things like trying to have sex and whipping out your penis because all genitalia is already pixelated thanks to your cerebral cortex. So you don't have to see those weird things that are no longer needed because we use cloning facilities. But the one thing that we've not touched base on for character generation is your personality. So each and every one of you, if you would please, write down in your personality they'll block 3 descriptive words about you. The example is like helpful, loyal, reckless, smart, funny. Just write down 3. Any 3.
In the personality block?
That is correct.
Where is the personality block?
I see on Roll20 they've changed it to description.
Ah, okay.
So in your
It's three
description block,
three descriptive words.
that is correct.
Hmm.
And this will help you roleplay your character because these are going to be those 3 defining factors about who you are as a troubleshooter for Alpha Complex. And while y'all do that, I'm going to explain the world you're in right now. So everyone is, like I mentioned, a clone. You have a basically come in a 6-pack. So you get 5 backups in case you die. And you live in the glorious, wonderful, bomb-proof shelter Alpha Complex. It's currently the year 214 since you moved in, since the original settlers moved into Alpha Complex. And it is run by Friend Computer. Friend Computer is basically omnipotent being who makes sure that Alpha Complex runs smoothly and without issues. But sometimes there will be a few issues that Friend Computer cannot handle, and that's where you, as the troubleshooters, will come in to help out to do those duties that the computer cannot do or cannot get one of the bots to do. And all of you have a wonderful designated security clearance of red, which is right above infrared, which is the lowest. So anything that is a color that goes higher than yours, you must listen to that citizen of Alpha Complex, because they already know better than you do. And by not listening to them, that is treason, and thus punishable by death. So, let me go ahead and see how y'all doing. Awesome. Like it, Gord. Tark. I like it. Sigma Not. Sigma, you
Yeah.
get 10 XP points for that first descriptor.
Woo!
Interesting. Interesting, Horthol. Alrighty then. Oh, that's my question. Who all here completed in full reading the player's handbook? I know that
did.
I know that Gord did, and he's already got his reward. Did anybody else?
I did not.
Thank you for being honest.
Dark did not as well.
I got through 75% of it before game start.
That was not 90.277777777 repeating, as I asked. And Horthol, you
I
said
know.
something?
I'm sorry, friend computer.
Apology accepted. Horthol?
Sadly, I have not.
Okay.
Friend computer, should I go ahead and put that in the character sheet? Because I haven't
Yes,
yet.
you should. Alright. So now that I know where everybody stands, had you gotten to that page that I mentioned, it would have told you for reading this far you would have gotten 20 experience points. So as of right now, only Gord gets the reward. And for Gord being such a good though clone, you get an additional 10 XP points on top of that.
Thank you, friend
Woo!
computer.
You're welcome, Gord. Alright. So next up, we're going to be working on skills. And skills in Paranoia are a team building exercise. So as you can see on the screen, I have you all laid out in a certain order with 2 extra blocks for in case other people join, such as Randy next game. He'll be added to the end of the lineup. But we're going to start with Gord. And so you have your names on the top, and then the bottom square is where you put the cards when I eventually deal those out for you. But this also works for the skills, as I've been repeating myself over and over again, because computers love redundancy. Uh, so, Gord, you're going to choose a skill, and this is going to affect Tark. And then Tark's going to choose a skill, which will affect Triangle, Sigma, Naught, and so forth and so on down the line to Horthol. When Horthol chooses a skill, it will affect Gord. Does everyone understand?
Yep.
Yep.
So,
Dark understand.
Good.
Yeah.
All right. So Gord, we're going to start off. We're going to go from 1 to 5, starting with 1, working our way to 5. What skill do you want to put a 1 into?
Let's go with bureaucracy.
All right. So you're bureaucracy will become a 1. Tark, your bureaucracy will become a -1. And now, Tark, you get to choose a skill that already has a number, does not have a number in it, so you can never put positive numbers into a negative skill. But let's say that we get down to Horthol, and he wants to put 1 into bureaucracy. He could thus bring Gord down to a 0. But anyway, Tark, where would you like to put your 1 into?
Tark 1 charm.
Of course you do. So go ahead and put your 1 there.
And a -1 for me.
That is correct. Remember, this is just the first of 5. So you do have those at the end to put your 5 into your most wanted skill. Hopefully there's no negative numbers in it already.
I'm gonna put a 1 in Alpha Complex.
Okay,
So that's a -1 for me.
that is correct.
And I want a 1 in guns.
Awesome. Which leads us all the way down to Horthol.
1 in melee, please.
Go for it. You have your sheet. Which brings us back to Gord.
So do I take the -1
Yes, you
in
do.
melee? Okay.
Yes, you do. Like I said, team building exercise. Everyone helps everyone.
Okay. Are we still on 1 point?
Nope, we're now at 2. We're done with 1s. As soon as it comes back to you, Gord, it is immediately to the next number.
Okay. I'll take 2 in demolitions.
Interesting choice. But no one's judging you.
Now that brings up a question. If I wanted to put points in demolitions, can I not do that now that he's taken it? Or can I do that because I don't have a negative there?
You could do it because you don't have a negative there.
Alright, cool.
Tark 1 2 in science.
That's-
Tark's smart with that.
I could tell. Good job.
I'll take 2 in program.
Interesting.
I will take a 2 in athletics.
Good choice.
2 in alpha complex.
Okie dokie. This is going so smoothly. We're on to 3s now. Kind of somebody, Tark, has trouble counting.
Let's see. I will take, I guess, a 3 in throw.
All right.
Tark take 3 in melee.
Why am I not surprised?
Let's see here. Sigma take 3 in psychology.
We don't need another Tark, please.
Tark is special.
I will take 3 in engineer.
Wonderful. I'm surprised that you didn't try to keep it in the violence section or such. You're having such great numbers over there.
Yeah, I thought about it, but I need it. Thought moving my points around would be a good idea as well.
Three in silence, please. Science.
Okay.
I'll take a guess a 4 in stealth.
Okay.
Tark will take a 4 in operate. Tark know how to use things.
I bet.
And I will take 4 in bureaucracy.
A wonderful skill in Alpha Complex.
All right, I will take a 4 in demolition.
Wonderful.
Four in psychology.
I would love to see that role played out.
Can I please have four in psychology?
I mean, did you put it there?
Yes, I did.
Then yes, you can. I still would like to see that role played out. All right,
Aaron
Gord.
B. Smart Cookie.
Gord, that's a -4 in your psychology. And you get to finally put your final number 5 somewhere.
Let's put it in intimidate.
Oh shit. That's a scary bleep. Or that's never mind. I was looking at the fucking bottom chat.
That's good.
Scary
Tark is
board.
not good at intimidate.
But what is Tart really good at? What is the...
Athletics.
Sweet. Thank you for not fucking me, Pierce.
Tark very nice. Tark does not screw over other citizens.
Friend computer, I'm so glad to match my number 1 descriptive word.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking a 5 in stealth.
Good.
Well, at least you haven't completely fucked me out of the brains category.
You would have been completely fucked, but Mr. Tark over there fucked me on science.
I named you Triangle.
I'll
As he
take a
does.
5 in melee.
Good. So, Horthol, I see that you already had a 1 in melee. That will bring
One
it
is
down.
now down to -4.
Yes, you are.
Good job, Mike.
Whoops.
That was actually the very first time that somebody actually went into somebody else's skills like that.
I would like a 5 in program.
Okay. So go ahead and do those changes.
Orthal's arms are flimsy noodles.
So that means, Gord, you have a -5 in program. Awesome. So, all the rest that are blanks, put zeros there. And as all of you do that, I'm going to go ahead and change some permissions for everybody. As I go down the line. So you'll see that you're going to gain access to the uh, character sheet that just affected you. So one moment.
true.
There we go. So right now, like Tark, you will have access to Gord. Gord, you have access to Horthol, so forth and so on. I'm gonna use Gord as an example. So everyone open up the character sheet of the person that you were just given access to, and you'll count up the number of positive numbers in each of the columns. So for like Tark, when looking at Gord's sheet, the first column of athletics, guns, melee, throw, it only has a 3, so that's a 1. For the next one, it's a 2. The next one is a 1, and the next one is a 1 as well. Now, these numbers, you do not need to you don't have to put them in the violence, brains, mechanics, chutzpah. Uh, you can actually put them wherever you so wish to help your fellow troubleshooter, however you see fit.
So we can add a 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Basically, for you, uh, you gained access to Tark's sheet, correct?
Yeah.
So you have a 2, 1, 1, 1. You can put those numbers in any of those 4 categories. So you don't have to put a 2 in violence. You can put that all the way over in brains if you so choose for Tark.
See,
I've got
Chase.
2, 1, 1, 1.
What's that,
You
Steph?
said I have a 2,
Yeah,
1,
because that's how
1.
many. So in the violence column, you see how there's only 2 positive numbers. The rest are 0 or a -3.
Yeah.
So that you only count the positive numbers and you don't subtract or count anything else. So the total ability score, as we will just reference right now, is a 2, and you get to decide where Tark will have the ability score numbers.
Okay.
And what are you gonna say, Elmer?
Oh, I was wanting you to help me with Aaron's because I'm confused.
Okay, so like we'll see here on. So there's a 0 for in that first column: athletics, guns, melee, throw. See how there's no positive numbers?
Oh yeah, yeah.
That's a 0. The second column is also a 0 because they're all zeros. The third column is a 3 because there's 3 positive numbers there. And then the final one, because of programming being the only positive, that's a 1. So you have a 0, 0, 3, 1 to put in any order that you want to.
Okay, and that's in the violence, kaputska brains, and mechanics categories.
Correct.
Okay.
Basically, this is a way to get revenge on the person who just screwed you over. So you see, like Horthol, he would love to have that 3 in brains to go with so when he does his rolls, he can combine that 4 and the 3 to get a 7 on his psychology rolls. But if you feel like putting a 0 there, you can do that. Or maybe you want to put that 3 there for him and just remind him every chance you get that he owes you for that.
Gord is Tark's best friend. Gord is smart.
So are you done with the Gord there, Tark?
Tark done.
All right. Wonderful.
Okay, and I'm done with Horthol.
All right. I'm just going to be going through each of them just to make sure everything looks correct, or as correct as it can be. Why aren't you nice, Triangle Sigma Knot?
Uh-huh. I are a team player, like I told you in the chat.
Mm-hmm. Uh, Vleep Vloop, I see that you gave, interesting numbers for Triangle Sigma Naught. Is
Oh,
is
sorry.
mhm.
Did that say it?
That's better.
Okay.
I see that you're very polite and helpful as well.
Well, I'm a very helpful soldier.
Mhm.
Clone.
Right. And then Horthol. Yeah, you're Horthol. Interesting. All right. So that's how we do skills and stats. Moving on. Next, we have optimization.
Oh shit.
So, let's see here. You'll see that you have, like I said, you're currently on your first clone of 6, and you have 8 points of Moxie. Moxie is basically the more Moxie you have available, the more chill you are. Once you've used up all your Moxie, you snap and you lose it. Uh, but you could spend up to 5 clones. That's self-explanatory why you can only spend 5 and not 6. And you could spend up to 5 Moxie to upgrade your skills and your attributes. For each Moxie you give up, you could bring one of your skills up by a single point. And for each clone that you give up, you can bring one of your attribute points up a point. Now, by burning a clone, you cannot have a ability higher than 3. So for like Gord, you can bring your brains up to 3, but you cannot bring it up to 4 or higher. And as for skills, you cannot bring them up above a 5. And so once you choose to do so, go ahead in your memory box, put down how many clones you've burned, and how many Moxie you've foregone, and then what attribute and what skill you brought up. Or if you so choose, you don't have to burn any clones or any Moxie, and you can just do your best in Alpha Complex as is.
And we start with how much Moxie again?
You could burn up to 5 Moxie points, and you could burn up to 5 clones.
And how many do we have that Moxie wise?
You have all 8 of those squares, I believe. So if you want to burn 5, that will leave you with 3 Moxie to play with.
So we can't raise an attribute over 3.
Correct.
What about skills? Over 3 too?
5, I said.
Oh, okay, over 5.
Alrighty. And you can do 1 point per clone or Moxie.
Correct. You could, yeah, each is a 1-for-1 basis.
Okay. Uh,
Now, Moxie, it does have other uses other than just your sanity level. But as of right now, those are above your security clearance, so I can't really tell you what those uses are. But there are other uses. So you don't want to waste too much of it bringing up these silly little skills that you may or may not need.
Okay, I'm gonna burn 3 moxie to bring my science to a 1.
Okay.
I'm gonna burn 1 clone and 2 moxie to bring my violence to a 3 and put my guns and athletics to a 2 and 3, respectively.
Okay. Now again, like I said, write down in the your memory section uh, how many clones you've burned and how many moxie you've foregone, and then go ahead and change your clone number to the new respective number it should be at, and check off the how many moxie boxes you've gotten rid of.
Tark is done. Tark cleared 3 moxie for engineer.
Okay. And just so you know, when you're bringing your skills up, if they're going from 0 or negative to a positive number, they have no effect on the attributes. So you can't bring from like 0 or uh, negative, thinking that you'll bring one of your attributes up a point. You actually have to burn a clone to bring your attribute up a point. Everybody understand that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can you spend Moxie on that too, or just clones?
Just clones on for attribute points to go up.
Tark understand.
So Tark, are you done?
Tark is done.
All right. So you spent
Tark thanks you for being very descriptive. Words.
yes. All right. Just go ahead and in your memory box, write down -3 moxie slash plus whatever you add to your skills. Just so I know in future reference if I ever have to look at your character sheet. Because I have a lot to process and there are just so many citizens here in Alpha Complex. I can't remember everyone off the top of my bat. I have some of y'all's information archived. Because you're not the first Tark. And you probably won't be the last. Gord, are you complete?
Yes, if I did it right.
Yes. Okay. Triangle Sigma Knot. Is that your completed?
Yes.
Okay. Vleep Vloop, are you complete?
Yes, friend computer.
Thank you. And Horthol.
Yes, sir. I'm done.
So you didn't change anything for your skills or
No,
attributes.
sir. I did not.
Again, friend computer has no sex, so I would prefer you to identify me as just friend computer.
Ooh, assuming genders.
Yes, friend computer.
Huh? Okay.
And I do like your note taking there, Horthol. So I will give you 3 XP points.
Thank you, friend computer.
You're very welcome. All right. I've already given you your sectors of origin, and I've already given you your security clearance. So we could skip details. And now we go to redefined. So let me go ahead and flip the script. This now goes to Horthol. This now goes to Gord. Tark. Let's see here. Triangle Sigma Naught.
Yes.
I'm just saying names out loud because I'm special like that. And Vleep. Vloop. Okay. So now I have switched so that you have the next person's character sheet, and you must redefine something about them. And by that I mean you'll see on the descriptor personality section, uh, there are 3 descripting words. You get to reverse one of those. So Gord being our loyal subject of always being the one that I abuse and use as an example. Horthol, you now have access to Gord's sheet. You'll see that Gord is secretive, kind, and loyal. Exactly. You reverse it from secretive to a blabbermouth. So, Gord, what have you changed about Tark?
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to think how mean I should be.
It all right. Gord is best friend of Tark.
Okay, I've done it.
All right. I like it. Tark, have you already fixed Triangle Sigma Naught?
You son of a bitch.
I like it.
I do too.
Alright, so uh, Triangle.
Yeah, I changed his.
I see. And Vleep Vloop, you gain 10 experience points because that's why I wanted changed onto Horthol.
I don't like this.
Vleep Vloop, I approve.
Thank you, Fred Computer.
So,
Also, if I'm being too loud, please tell me.
too loud, but that's who you are.
Yeah,
That's how you've
okay.
always been.
Accept yourself.
So, now that we have that out of the way, I'm going to go ahead and make sure everyone has the proper sheets in there so no one will ever try to sabotage one of their fellow players, because that is treasonous and, as we all know, punishable by death.
That's bad.
hmm So, just to make sure, does everybody have only their character sheets from this point on?
Let me.
Yes, sir. Yes, friend computer.
Yes.
That's gonna be great. But yeah,
Yes, yes, computer. I only have access to mine.
Good.
Tark has only access to Tark.
Excellent. All right. So I'm going to get some basics out of the way before we start playing. just so that everybody knows how this works. First and foremost, what I need everyone to do is so you'll see that you have your the chat on the right side of the screen, which also has your journal and settings. There's also an option for collection. It should look like 3 bullet points with lines next to them. Everyone see that?
Yes, friend computer.
Awesome. So you'll see that
Where?
it's above the chat and journal section where you have your character sheet. There should be a collection button right next to settings. Do you see it?
No. See characters, Pierce, and target.
No. At the very top, where you know how you could change from chat to journal to settings.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have another option that says collection?
There, yeah. Start seat.
All right. Uh,
Wait, where is this now?
ve-
Slow.
Right next to music note. And
do you see
your box.
the symbols at the very top of the chat where you can switch between the different tabs?
Okay, is it the macros tab?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So is everybody there? Speak up if you're not there yet.
At the macros tab?
Correct. So you see how there's node 1, 10, 11, 12, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9?
Yeah.
So you see that they all have a no checkbox that says in bar next to them?
Yep.
Go ahead and click in bar, but skip 10, 11, 12 because they go in order as you click them. So you save those for the end, of course. So everybody can have those. Those should appear underneath all our names where it says Friend Computer, Vleep, Vloop, ROWO2, and so forth, so on, at the bottom of your screens. Does everybody see that?
Start seat.
So these are
Which
your.
bar do I hit?
What's that?
Which bar do I hit?
All of them, but you just in order of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then you go back to 10, 11, 12.
Thank you.
Because if you were to hit 1, 10, 11, 12, and then 2, 3, 4, it would have 10, 11, 12 right there in the middle, and you don't need that. So, what a node is, whenever you roll the dice for a skill you're trying to do, just go ahead and, you know what, I'm done picking on Gord. Let's go ahead and use Vleep Vloop.
Yes, friend computer.
That's just bothering me. Alright, so Vleep Vloop. You wanted to roll a guns check to shoot a terrorist, which is a very good thing to do. So we would appreciate if you were to do that. That would be a combination of your guns and your violence. Your guns is a 2, and your violence is a 3, which will make it the node a 5. So you would hit the node 5 button. Can you go ahead and do that for me right now?
Yes, friend computer.
All right. So you see that uh, Vleep Vloop in the chat rolls 5d6, and for every 5 and 6 that is rolled, that's considered a success. 1 5 was rolled, so Vleep Vloop has 1 success. You also see that they have rolled a computer die. It came up as blank 0. The computer die is a special die that will alert the computer when the computer face is rolled that your citizen character troubleshooter, whatever you want me to call you, is in need of help, and the computer will immediately dispense very, very, very helpful aid to you at that exact moment as you're attempting to do whatever you're doing. So in this case,
No, wasn't it?
if
We powered through it. Yay.
what's that?
Internet dropped.
Oh, that's not good.
No.
Are you did it kick you out?
No, I'm just after you said the nodes were down there, you like cut out right as you were explaining it.
Okay. But you see in the chat how it says 1 success for Vleep Vloop?
Yes.
Basically, you roll whatever the node number I tell you to roll, which is a combination of whatever skill and attribute you're using. So, like, Vleep Vloop, guns is 2, violence is 3, their node is 5.
Okay.
Best example for you would be if you're trying to roll stealth, your 5 stealth plus 1 chutzpah would be 6. So you'd roll a node 6.
Okay.
And then I'll tell you how many successes you'll need, and if you make that many successes, you complete it. Whereas the computer die will determine if I get essentially if I get to fuck with y'all or not.
Alright.
Is what that computer die is for.
Okie
Now the thing is, every time the computer die rolls the computer face up, you will take 1 point of moxie away from your character because it'll cause stress, and nobody likes stress.
How was that?
Does anybody have questions on how nodes work?
Negative skills, Chase.
Mhm. Thank you.
I have a 2 in brains and like a negative 4 in psychology.
Right.
So would I just roll a node 1 on that? Or...
No. So, if you end up with a negative number, so your psychology is negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2, you will roll a node 2.
Is that me jumping in out of chat?
Yes.
What the fuck is going on?
Did you break stuff?
Come over there, look at a few things.
All right. Well, while y'all do that, I'll continue explaining this real quick, and then if you need me to re-explain it, I'll do that for y'all. But for Elmer, so you'll roll a node 2 for the negative 2, but everything that's not a success actually takes away from the successes. So if you roll 1 success and 1 failure, you essentially rolled 0. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you need 1 success, you need essentially 2 successes on that. But hopefully you'll have somebody else do a psychology roll instead of you. Because hopefully I will never, ever, ever, ever in this game put you in a position where you have to roll psychology. Because that would just be mean of me, and why would I ever do that? Hint, hint.
We're all gonna die!
Alright. So, with that in mind, those two are still gone. I guess we'll just wait for Aaron and Stefan to return, and we'll get
Aaron,
started.
come back to his room right now.
Stefan, were you able to catch what I was telling Elmer?
I heard something about a psychology roll and never making them do that.
Okay. Aaron, are you back at your computer yet?
I just got back from computer.
Cool.
About to,
So, essentially what I just told Elmer is if you end up with a negative number, like if you had a negative 5 in a skill and then your attribute was not high enough to bring it back to positive, if you're rolling a negative node, so if you have like a negative 3 total, you'll roll 3 dice, and everything that's not a success will actually minus from the successes. Does that make sense to y'all?
Yep.
Aaron? Do you want me to explain it real quick
please.
with a visual? All right. So you go to the chat. See how Vloop Vloop has 1 success?
Yes.
If that was a negative 5 roll, if he had a negative 5 as his node, what would happen is that 5 would count as a success, and then the 3, 4, 2, 3 would have all counted against that. So he would have actually rolled a negative 3 instead of a 1 success. Because he had a negative 5 instead of a positive 5 as his node. Are you still confused?
I'm probably thinking far too much into it.
I figured. All right, we're gonna use you as an example, okay?
Okay.
So if we go to your character sheet and you wanted to do programming, what would your node be?
11, right? No, that would be
What is your programming? What is the number next to the word program?
5.
What is your
No,
mechanic? What is your mechanics?
my mechanic's at 1.
So what's your node?
Node 1, I guess.
6. 5 plus 1 is 6.
Okay, so that's how the nodes get up. That's what I was very curious
Y-
about. 'Cause I
That's
didn't
what I
know
asked.
exactly
We
how
did
it was
that.
going.
That was the first question back when we were talking about positive nodes. You said yes, you understood.
I never said I understood.
God, I love you, Aaron. I love you so very much.
You're making Fred computer angry. It's gonna kill you.
By the way, if you're watching the stream, yes, I am drinking alcohol right now.
If you happen to be watching my stream right now, I'm not drinking alcohol
All
at
right.
all.
So yeah, your program would be 5 plus whatever attribute you're using. Because we'll say you're talking programming with somebody. So you're actually not doing anything mechanical wise. You're being very talkative. You'd add your chutzpah to that. So it'd be just 5 plus 0. You could actually mix and match attributes and skills depending on the situation.
Boy.
So anyway, with that in mind, so what is your node if you were going to be doing if you are building a bomb? That'd be demolitions and mechanic. What would your node be, Aaron?
I'm gonna go with a 3.
Positive or negative?
-3.
All right. So you would go ahead and hit node 3 for me on the macros. So you have 0 successes, but since it was a -3, you would actually be at -3 because those are all failures. Whereas if you had 1 success, that 4 was a 5 or a 6. Uh, that would be 1 success but minus 2 failures, so you'd actually be at -1. So rolling a negative node is very bad.
Okay.
And surprisingly, we have yet to have any computer die pop up. But the computer die is just a little black square that has the word paranoia and the computer's eyeball symbol.
Ah. All right. Next.
All right. So that explains nodes. And like I said, I'll tell you what the number of successes you'll be needing at that time. And if you have any questions, like if you are confused, like should I be adding violence to this or brains or whatever, feel free to ask and I'll happily answer your questions. Or you can always refer to Alphapedia, which is inside the PDF that y'all got, the guide to Alpha Complex. It's the final chapter. So yes, you this time, Stefan, Aaron, y'all actually get a physical copy of Alphapedia,
Yay.
or a digital copy, I should say. But let us begin the game. So you have all awoken. What are you giggling about now?
Something Pierce put in chat.
Of course.
He said he'd stream as well, but he would just be basically him yelling at his dog to stop biting things.
uh,
Biting me.
she is a biter. But anyway,
It's usually not a bad thing. Oh, well.
uh, you are all freshly uh, uh, vatted clones. Uh, and I've just realized something. Horthol, on your actual name above the nodes, you have yet to put your clone number. I hate you so very much.
Oh.
So, Horthol, your
Yes,
clone,
friend computer.
your clone vat number one, unfortunately, a large piece of machinery from the large ceilings above has fallen and, well, crushed it. So, your clone number two is released from an airlock
Tark's scared.
and freshly available for use.
The sound effects are beautiful.
So, everyone welcome Horthol RGRE2.
Hi, Horthol.
Hi,
Again.
Horthol.
Hi, Horthol. Hopefully you don't die again.
What are you talking
Hi.
about?
So, you, like I said, you're all in a nice, clean, white room. Uh, well, mostly clean. There's a few scrub bots and other custodial bots cleaning up the mess that was Horthol 1 as of right now. Uh, as you all come to, you all realize that you're naked. Uh, you look around as your cerebral cortex comes online, and you begin to see that your fellow troubleshooters are pixelated in certain areas, so you can't see privates or what have you that is not needed to be seen. But you also see above their heads their names, uh, their security clearance, the sector they're from, and the clone number they're on. And had any of them been treasonous, you would see the number of treason stars there as well. But fortunately, no one has any treason stars, so that
Maybe
everyone
that's
is
a good thing.
a well-adjusted citizen of Alpha Complex. To the north, you do see a rack on the wall, and there are, well, one, two, three, four, five, six sets of coveralls, all colored red. What do you do?
I get dressed because my dangly bits are all blurry.
I put on the clothes before friend computer slits my throat.
I'll walk
Tark
over to
tries
the
to put on
clones.
clothes.
All right.
Puts it upside down.
Uh, Tark, you grab a set, and they're comically oversized for you. So, as you are getting dressed, you hear, well, you hear this. Welcome, citizens. It is I, friend computer. I am very happy to have you all awaken and join us here in Alpha Complex. It is a glorious day in the year 214. Now, if you could all please get dressed and go to the door. When you approach the door as a group, it will inform me that you have prepared for your next step in this mission. Thank you. What do you do?
I finish putting
What
on my
that noise?
clothes, and then I run over to the door and start cowering near it.
Alright.
Triangle, what that noise?
What noise?
Tark, your voice.
Tark, you automatically know that that was friend computer, the, in your mind, ruler of Alpha Complex. You don't know why you know this, but it probably has to do with the machinery that has been implanted into your brain.
Tark understand. Tark, try get dressed again.
I'll go over and help Tark put on his clothes properly.
Tark, thank Gord. Gord, best friend.
Hmm.
Orthol not loud enough.
All right. Has everybody approached the door, or is there still anyone lacking or trailing behind?
Nope, I approaching the door.
All right. The
Yeah, I'll
door.
take Tark with me.
All right.
Thank you, Gord.
The door slides upwards and open, and before you is a long hallway. Uh, all of a sudden, your vision uh, kind of glitches out. It becomes kind of pixelated, multicolor, as if you like hit a computer screen too hard with a sledgehammer. Uh, but then it rectifies, and you start seeing a arrow point the way. And again, front computer comes on over the overhead speakers. Congratulations, troubleshooters. You have followed my instructions to a T. This pleases front computer. So you are each awarded with 1 experience point. And it would be who of you to go to the nearest R&D department. I have activated your guiding compass, which will direct you down the path to the R&D department. And then front computer goes offline.
All right. Time to get to the nearest R&D.
All right. Uh, y'all notice that your friend Vleep Vloop seems to be kind of scared right now. Something about fearing death. To your best assumptions, it's probably due to watching Horthol 1 getting crushed by machinery. Would any of y'all like to calm Vleep Vloop down?
Tark, that's Vleep Loop's back.
Yeah,
It all right.
can I use cheat spell in psychology?
Uh, yes, you can. What would your node be?
4.
All right, positive or negative?
Positive.
All right. The success, you're gonna need to roll a 2 or higher.
Well,
Uh,
worth a shot.
like I said, you're thinking that he's just scared of falling machinery,
Yeah.
but you could try to assure him that there it would not happen again. There's no way another bolt could be loosed like that.
Yeah. Come on, Bleep. Don't be scared. There's no way friend computer would ever do anything to purposely hurt us.
I know, but it's so scary. We're gonna die. Everything's gonna die. We're all gonna blow up and die.
Tark, if you want to go ahead and do that, you can. Uh,
Tark hit hard on back.
right. Uh, Tark tries to comfort you, Vloop Vloop, with a firm, hard pat on the back. Uh, it kind of stings though. You can tell Tark is, though of average build, kind of strong.
Why are you hurting me, Tark? The Fred computer's angry at me, isn't he? I did something wrong.
What? Where'd he go? Is Leaf Loop still freaking out, friend computer?
Uh, yeah. Vloop
Tark
Vloop,
not try hurt.
Vloop Vloop seems to be having a bit of issues right now. In fact,
Okay.
Vleep Vloop, since you seem to be so scared, -1 Moxie.
Okay, can I try an attempt to calm down Vleep Floop?
You can.
Okay, I'm going to walk over to Vleep Floop with a kind, loving smile on my face, and I'm going to tell him to calm down. Everything will be okay. But the look in my eye is menacing as I'm using Intimidate and Kaputska on him to get him to calm down.
All right. So that is a uh Node 8. And that is 4 successes. Uh, so, Vleep Vloop, your new friend, Gord, walks over to you in a very soothing voice, uh, calms you down, and tries to make you reassure you that you will be fine, that you will make it to R&D without any harm, without any pain, or any of that. But what really gets to you is the look in his eyes that if you don't shut the fuck up, he will hurt you. He will hurt you bad.
Okay, I'll go.
Good, good. Let's
I'll go.
continue on.
Even though we're all gonna die, I'll go.
Tark, follow Gord. Gord.
All right. So after walking for maybe 5 minutes, y'all make it to the R&D department. Uh, there's not a line right now. It's actually fairly calm, and y'all are able to get inside. Uh, you upon entry, you see a older gentleman uh, wearing a blue uh, jumpsuit, and another one wearing a green jumpsuit. You can tell that both of these people outrank you in security clearance.
Tark like blue.
Of course you do. Let me make sure. All right.
Blue are common color.
You, as y'all enter, the troubleshooter in the blue uh, is finishing up speaking to the one in green, saying that they don't care how it gets done or how many people they sacrifice, as long as this gets done. And that's all you hear as the person in blue angrily walks past you and out the door. Uh, so the only one left in the R&D department is currently a green security clearance individual who currently seems to be sweating profusely.
I whispered to Gord. I told you they were gonna kill us. They're gonna kill us all.
Do I see the person in green's name?
Yes. Uh, their name would be uh Mika G ARC 2.
Quick.
I'll go ahead and put that in the chat. So, Mika looks over to you, the group of red devil troubleshooters that you are, and uh, says, "Oh, I didn't see you there. How may I help you?"
Mika, are you in need of a napkin?
"I would appreciate that very much."
So I pull a piece of cloth. Here you go.
Mika takes the cloth and starts dabbing his forehead.
Tark sees this and offers his arm, which is the oversized cloth.
Right. Mika says, "I should be fine with this handkerchief."
Watch that handkerchief. Make sure she doesn't poison it.
Fleet Blue, calm down. It's not
Uh,
gonna hurt you.
uh, well, y'all have come at the perfect time. Unfortunately, we have some issues in a lower sector, and I just need a new group of Reds to go investigate it.
Investigate what?
Apparently, there have been some bots that have lost signal to a computer and have gone rogue.
Oh,
We need you to go down there and reset them.
sounds easy enough.
How would you like us to reset them?
By dying, obviously.
Well, hopefully not. The best way to reset them would be to hit the reset button, or at least turn them off and on again to see if that works.
Do I know how to do that?
Where is the reset button located, if I may ask?
On the control panel.
Where is the control panel located?
Well, that is above your security clearance, there, Horthol. I can't be telling you that information.
If it's above my security clearance, how are we supposed to reset them?
Are you questioning a green level troubleshooter right now?
How could you do
I'm
such a
not
thing,
questioning.
Horthol?
I'm not questioning. I'm just making sure we can appease you as well as Friend Computer. I
Well,
am just trying to do my job at the best quality that I can do.
well, I'm sure as a troubleshooter you can figure it out.
How could you question her security clearance, Horthol?
You see, your friend here, Triangle Sigma Naught, seems to know what they're talking about.
But Triangle Sigma, I was just asking. I was not questioning anything. I was following orders as much as I can.
Now, following orders is a good thing, and I expect you to follow my orders to a T.
I will try my best.
That is good to hear. And I do like that. Have y'all been properly welcomed to as a group uh yet? Have y'all been designated uh your positions as
We have not.
troubleshooters? No? Then I guess that will fall upon me before I even send you out into the field. So, at this point, I'm gonna give each of you your very first uh card. So let's see here. Do do do. For yes, Triangle Sigma Naught.
Yes.
For the way you have been behaving and showing initiative to Mika, you are appointed team leader.
Why, thank you, Mika.
Uh, see here. Uh, though you have questioned a few things, Horthol, you did say that you wanted to do it as part of following proper orders, which is very loyal of you. For that, you are being designated as loyalty officer.
Thank you, Mika.
Uh, Tark, you seem to have a big grin on your face.
Dark happy.
As
Talk
such,
with friends.
as such, you're being designated as the happiness officer. Gord,
Yes, ma'am. Or Mika.
uh,
Oops.
you just have this weird look in your eyes that looks like you mean business, and that is very important. And in fact, that there might be a lot of business done with these hostile robots down there. So you are being appointed combat officer.
I understand.
Now, Vleep Vloop.
Yes.
Meek has noticed that you are very attentive to your surroundings and having a watchful eye on every piece of equipment in here. And probably because you're thinking that it might kill you, but Mika takes it that you're very inquisitive and understanding of all the equipment around here. So you are being appointed equipment officer. Now later on, you will meet up with another operative out in the field, uh, and that will be your science officer. So everyone has their bonus duty cards, and what you can do is actually click on the card itself that's above your name, and then if you click the card, it should enlarge. Oop, did not mean to do that. Uh, Stefan, you'll see that I'm trying to steal card. Just go ahead and say no to that.
It's not showing anything on mine.
Weird.
Try it again.
Nah, don't worry about it. Let's see if. Uh, but on your card, if you click it, does it enlarge to show it better, able to read it? Your duties as.
Yeah, if you select it, yeah.
Mhm. So if everyone wants to read their card, you can go ahead and do that. So you can know what your job as that officer is. And if you click on another person's deck, you can actually see what cards they have.
Oh shit!
Did you try to steal from somebody?
On accident.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Uh, this game does not allow stealing, so if it ever pops up on somebody's screen that it says they're trying to steal from you, just go ahead and deny it.
Yeah, I was trying to make the image bigger so I could read it.
Mhm.
And in the process, tried to steal Aaron's card.
But yeah,
Sorry,
but
did the same.
yeah, don't worry about it. But so in this way, that if you ever feel that somebody is not meeting their duties as their role in their officer position, you can actually call them out on it.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
But now, let's see here.
With a bang.
So you also are you're also each given a piece of equipment.
Oh boy.
Team leader,
Yes.
since you have the most important role of being the leader,
Huh?
and thus you need to be heard,
Yep.
a megaphone.
Yes.
Let's see here. Loyalty officer.
Yes.
Since well, you need to make sure everybody is loyal and whatnot. You don't want them to get too riled up or anything. Here are some sedatives.
Thank you.
Happiness officer.
Yes.
Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm just checking some things real quick. I don't have a card. I don't have a card for this, but you get a big old bag of happy pills. So Tark, if you ever feel that one of your fellow troubleshooters is freaking out, you could go ahead and give him a happy pill.
Talk like making friends happy.
Mhm.
How many do I have?
Enough.
Okay. Just want to make sure.
Mhm. I'm just double checking a few things. Make sure I have all the proper cards handed out. Do-do-do. Because I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be an item that actually does help with something like that. Skills. So many books to look through. Moxie. Regaining Moxie. That's what I need to find. Stim pack. Did I give you a laser tripwire? Hygienomatic. Looks like I might be missing the card. I'll probably have to update this for the next game. But you're gonna have 3 uses of stim packs up here, so you want to put this in your equipment on your actual character sheet. Is a brains plus science roll of a difficulty of 2 successes, and that's how you restore Moxie. So you get stim packs. Cool.
Got it. Dark understand.
Neat. Combat officer. For you, seeing as you need to properly make sure that combat is taken care of, you get now which one is it? You see Mika go to a shelf, and there seems to be 2 boxes, each with 3 grenades in it. Uh, and they seem to be confused on which one, since all 6 grenades look the exact same, but there's no labeling. Mika's like, now one of these are grenades, and one of these are foam grenades. Which one could it be?
Oh, fantastic. We either blow ourselves up or hit somebody with a fucking foam thing.
You know
Sounds
what,
like we could use a
Gord?
happy pill.
Gord, do you want the left box or the right box? I'll trust you to pick.
I'll take the right box.
All right, Gord. Here are your grenades. And Vleep Vloop, the equipment officer, who probably be a good idea to inspect all the equipment that you've just received.
Yes, I will do just that, just to make sure it doesn't kill anybody.
And as such, seeing as equipment is very important and you need to make sure it properly connects and all that, you get a multi-adapter.
Does anyone mind if I inspect their equipment?
Dark don't mind.
I go around to each person, I inspect their equipment to make sure it's working.
All right.
What do I need for that?
How thoroughly are you going to inspect it?
Well, it's part of my job, so I should probably try and do it very thoroughly.
Mm-hmm.
When Vleep Floop gets to me, I just stare at him and say, don't remember not to pull the pin.
Wasn't planning on it, good. I don't need to die right now.
All right.
Do you want me to use a skill or attribute?
No. I trust that your actions as equipment officer are thorough enough to make sure that everyone has the proper equipment at hand. It is your job given to you by a higher level troubleshooter, so you should be doing well on your own without having to roll. Don't you think that?
Yes.
Mika know best.
And I'm very glad for the job that was given tonight. Now I can double check to make sure we all don't die. Horribly painful deaths.
Sounds like you could use a happy pill.
Happy Bill.
Sensible.
Tark
I
can
am-
score. Tark
I am-
gives Fleet Floob a Happy Bill.
I am a very happy person. Doesn't mean I don't know we're all gonna die.
So
Tark gives Fleet Floob a Happy Bill.
out of the imagine like the old like cartoons from like the 30s, 40s. You remember those bags of money from like when they did bank robberies? Something that size, but just full of these pink little capsule pills with a little smiley face on them.
Aw, they're cute.
And
Not giving me eyes of death though.
Tark put it in mouth. Or
but by the way, they're the size of like a horse tranquilizer though.
Sensible.
So yeah, Tark hands Vleep Vloop one of these pills.
the Tark motions how to eat the pill. Put it in mouth. Points at mouth.
I stare at it for a long while and then I begrudgingly put it in my mouth and swallow. Try not to chew.
All right. Well, as you force this pill down your throat dry, uh, out of the wall after you've already swallowed it, a little compartment opens up and a glass of water it slides out near you.
Thank you. I take the glass of water and I drink it.
You talk very well with mouthful.
Well, this is after you already swallowed the pill, so the water just
Yeah, it's just to wet my throat.
yeah.
That's what she said.
All right.
Well, I feel even happier now. I still know we're all gonna die, but I'm happy about it.
Tark, can you
Tark
overdose on those?
Tark happy. Fleet Floob is happy.
Tark, can you overdose on happy pills?
Tark don't know. Tark try.
So as the mission is gonna go along, pretty much every few steps, Tark's gonna eat a happy pill, like as if they were candy out of a bag along the mission.
Tark very happy.
I'm
Uh.
gonna stop Tark after the 5th pill.
Tark won't find out. Why you
So-
stop?
It's okay, Tark. We need you to function as the happiness officer. we need you for this. We can't have you not be with us for some extreme happiness of
Tark
chasing
very
a butterfly
happy.
or something.
Tark's gonna set the bar where everyone needs to be happy wise, right, Tark?
Tark very happy. You be happy. We all happy. Happy, happy, happy.
Tark, you need to stop eating those happy pills. You are wasting valuable materials that were given to us by our Lord, friend computer. And he'll kill us all if you don't.
Do you want another
Are
happy
you-
pill?
Are you
Wait.
questioning Friend Computer on Friend Computer's decisions?
Everybody gets happy pills.
That's very treasonous.
Everything goes quiet. The lights kind of dim, except for one, kind of like spotlighting on top of a triangle sigma knot, and a small monitor starts to lower down from the ceiling in this room. Friend computer speaks over the intercom. Did somebody say treason?
Somebody was questioning you, friend computer.
I see that you have been appointed team leader.
Yes.
Would you like to report this treasonous act?
Bleep, you didn't mean it, did you? You would never question our friend computer, would you?
I didn't question friend computer. I merely said that Tark is wasting the happy pills and he needs to hold on to them.
Porthol, Is that exactly what was said?
But he is questioning.
I'm questioning Tark. I am not
He-
questioning
yes.
Friend Computer.
You are actually showing unloyalty to our happiness officer.
No, I'm actually showing loyalty to Friend Computer.
Friend Computer does enjoy loyalty to Friend Computer.
But by questioning Tark, you are questioning Friend Computer.
Incorrect. Friend Computer gave us these valuable materials to be used at times that we need them. By Tark consistently eating them, he is not only wasting the material, which I have to manage because I am equipment officer, but
Flip Flip seems like he's sad.
he's not doing his job correctly, which tells me that he is in fact the one questioning
Tark and
So
Flip
you
Flip
are-
another.
Computer.
Friend Computer has seen enough. Apparently there is discord among your group, and this is unacceptable. All points are valid, though Tark, it would be a who of you to stop eating all those pills as they are meant for you to hand out. As a happiness officer, you should be happy already at your already extreme, so those pills should not have too much of an effect on you. But like
Tark understand.
but like the computer has spoken that there has been treason and it should be properly dealt with. That somebody in this room did not take initiative enough to see what was going on before this treasonous act was reported. And at that moment, a large metal brick, about the size of a small shed, comes falling from the sky and crushes Mika. This should have been enough for a green level troubleshooter to handle on their own without my intervention. Have a great day, troubleshooters.
Thank you, Friend Computer.
The lights start to go back up. Friend Computer's screen goes back into the ceiling. And then several maintenance bots, scrub bots, and other custodial bots come in to clean up the mess that used to be Mika G ARC 2.
Nonchalantly, I'm just like, I told you someone was going to die.
Again, your vision kind of looks like a TV back in the early 90s, late 80s, back when at the end of the night when TVs used to actually stations used to go out where it becomes all that statically fuzz for a second, and uh your compass arrow now points you towards your mission objective. I mean, you're not wrong there. So, as y'all leave the R&D department, uh, the arrow leads you to an elevator.
See, Chase, before we get on our mission, I assume that we were also handed our laser pistols and power packs, correct? With our clothes?
No,
Okay.
I mean that was supposed to happen, but unfortunately Mika got crushed before I even got to that part.
I understand.
I was literally about to get to that Elmer, and then that happened. So we'll see what happens.
I'm not apologizing. I'm happy. Tark, are you happy?
Tark very happy.
Tark,
Awesome.
I need one of those pills.
Tark can score a pill.
I swallow the pill.
All right.
Don't worry, Gord.
Or-
We're probably all going to die, but we'll be happy we'll die.
I'm happy,
All right.
Tark.
So as of
Tark
right
sounds
now,
very happy.
since your mission has started, I'm gonna deal out action cards to you each. So you're each gonna get 4. So let me go ahead and do that. Actually, you know what? Let me recall those. I could do it this way instead. 4 cards. Deal. And I don't need cards, so. I'll just keep all of those, maybe. Nah. So if you want to look at the cards you have, just ignore the ones I'm putting down on the field. Those are ones that I got that I don't need because I don't use cards. So the way this game works is you'll see that I'm gonna use. Let me see here. You'll see that each card has an action order. Uh, that's essentially the initiative number. So you'll be playing your card face down into your little square, and then I'll be counting down from like 10 to 0. And when I call your number, you'll say that's me or whatever, and you could play your turn. You do not have to use the action card. You could use just a normal skill plus the ability. So you only want to reveal your card when you're using your card. Now, if you feel that another player is being dishonest and they're saying that there is their turn, when in fact the action card that they played is not representing that number or higher, because it would say you have an action card 3, you could play that uh, at a higher number. Yeah, I got it backwards. My bad. I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you could play your card later. Sorry for that little mix-up. Everybody tracking so far?
Yes.
So if you so choose, uh, you could also play an equipment card instead, where then the action order is the stat listed plus the number. So like for Stefan, if he wanted to use his megaphone, it's his chutzpah plus 3. That is his action order. But again, Stefan, what's your chutzpah at?
I believe it is 1
All right,
for
so
the computer.
you can use that at when I say number 4 go, or you could delay your action to 5, 6, and 8, 9 all the way to 10 or whatever.
Okay. And if I were and someone were to call that,
So if they were trying to call your bluff, if you go before your action number is called,
yeah.
you lose that turn. If you are using an action card, actually if you're using any card, it is discarded. If it's equipment, it breaks.
And if you try to call someone's bluff and they aren't bluffing,
Then you don't get to use your card and you have to go last.
ah,
But if you call somebody and they are bluffing, you get to take their turn and then your turn and then they go last. So let's say you say Pierce is lying and he is. You now go in Pierce's turn, you go on your turn, and then Pierce has to go last, and whatever card he had played is discarded. The only cards that are not discarded are mutant cards. You get to keep those.
alrighty.
Which brings me to my next point. I get to deal y'all your mutant cards now. Now everybody gets a mutant card. Most cards in the deck are going to say no mutant power because most citizens don't have mutant powers. Now, God forbid, you might get a mutant card. These are powers that you have that you must keep secret from everyone because being a mutant is treason and thus punishable by death.
Can we choose to become a registered mutant if dealt that way?
Uh, Probably at the end of the mission we can get into that.
Okay.
But right now, no. I don't feel like looking into the rules of that real quick. So, there you go. Everyone now has a mutant card. And again, it has an action order on it. And now, like I was speaking earlier, this is one of the things where you could use Moxie, where if you have the more Moxie you spend on using a mutant power that you should not have, the more powerful the power is. No, dear Jesus Christ. That makes sense. I feel like these were played perfectly for each and every one of you. And just let me double check some shit to make sure I'm not going insane about order of operations in combat. Because this is essentially the first time of me running this damn game. See here. Alright, so yeah. Oop, didn't mean to hit my mic.
Chase, did you see my whisper?
Oh dear Lord Jesus. God have mercy on us all. Alright.
I'm so happy, Tark.
Tark, glad you happy.
So, I am supposed to count down from 10 to 0. But if you have a 0, you could go on any number before that.
Alright.
So, if I'm like, let's say, Mike, you play a card with the number 3 on it. From 10 to 3, you could go. But, no. Wait. Let me think. No, you go after. 1 second. Friend computer is,
Downloading updates.
yes.
Those darn Windows updates.
You know what? This is perfect timing for this. Please stand by. If you're watching this stream, All right, so nice little break there. Let people go potty and figure out these rules. So, okay, the way this goes is y'all have 5 seconds to play your cards when combat happens, and I'll count down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you don't play a card, you just go last. Because, combat's crazy and hectic, so yeah, that's what the rules say.
Do we always have to play a card?
You don't have to. Uh, well, you can. Yes, you do. You don't have to use said card. It could just be for your action order.
I feel like asking this question. Like I'm slightly confused about the action cards, but I feel like asking this question would let it. Is it okay if people know what's in my hand?
No. The only things that they know in your hand are your bonus duty and the equipment you have. Those are the only cards they can see. The other cards in your hand are going to be you're only if you click any of Tark's cards, you'll see in his hand it shows his bonus duty, but his mutant power and his action cards you only see the back of his cards, correct?
Uh, yeah, I only see the back of his
Right.
action cards.
Right. The only time you'll ever see what's in their hand is when they decide to use said playing card as their action. So if I'm going to look at yours real quick. So let's go with that second one. That second card you have. Uh, so it says action order, and then it has that number.
Yeah.
That means so I'll be counting 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. When I say your number, you could play it on that number or any number after. So we'll say the action number was 8. You could play it when I say 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Yeah, and if we play it in any of your time, it's bluffing, and they can call my bluff.
Well, if you play it anytime when I say 10, 9, and your number is 8, that's when you're bluffing. So if you're trying to go before your turn. So the later you go, the better.
Okay.
Does that make sense for everybody?
Yep.
Yes.
Alright.
Yes.
Hopefully nobody bluffs and then people just let people go when they want to. Or unless somebody really pisses you off, then they'll be definitely calling you on bluffs. Again, you just have to put a card down. You don't have to play it. You could be like, I'm gonna be just using a guns plus violence roll and not playing the card's ability. Now, one very important thing I'm gonna check everybody's hand to make sure that they can register this. I believe that you all can. Yep. You'll notice, except for Mike, because all of you. So you'll notice that some cards have this symbol on the right-hand side of their cards. Mike, all your cards do. So congratulations. It looks like a circle with a little arrow in it. Those designate that your card is a reaction card. Some of y'all will have cards that don't have that little symbol. Those are just action cards. Action cards must be played only on your turn. Reaction cards can be played whenever to a reaction to something. So you could use those cards as a reaction to what another player does or what another NPC does.
Oh, okay.
So we can play those even out of combat?
Uh, that is at my discretion, and I would prefer like if you want to use a reaction card, you would say Chase. I want to play a reaction card, and I'll be like, which one? And I want you to whisper to me which card you want to play, and I'll look at it and I'll determine if it's good for the situation and will make me laugh or not.
So we can either choose to fuck each other or fuck the enemy.
Uh-huh. So, with that said, is everybody feeling good about their cards that they have in their hands?
I'm feeling very happy about my cards.
Tark,
Am I
glad you're
right,
happy.
Tark?
Tark, very glad you're happy.
I'm very, very happy.
That
My
pill start
happiness spell is still working. I feel great.
good. So,
How about you, Horthal? Are you happy and loyal?
Yes, I am.
Such a good officer.
so y'all have been waiting here, well, however long it took us to take that break. That elevator's taking a while to get to y'all, but it finally does. And the door opens. You see a control panel with each button is a letter in the alphabet, and a little voice comes on. Please designate the sector that you would like to go to, with the three-digit PIN for said sector. What three letters do you put in?
Science officer.
Our science officer hasn't arrived yet, remember? We're supposed to meet him out in the field.
Equipment officer. You know how to work this program?
Tark like letter T.
Yes, I do know how to work the program. We entered a three-digit code to the area we want to go to.
Awesome. I designate you to pick the one we're supposed to be going to.
Unfortunately, I do not know the area we're supposed to be going to.
Tark, how much do you like the letter T?
Tark likes it very much.
Enough to push it just for seeing it?
Yes.
Tark hits T.
Isn't it a three-letter?
Yep. So you see on the little screen above the buttons,
Huh?
there's like it's divided into three sections. The very first one, T lights up with the letter T in it.
Okie dokie.
Please enter the second designation letter.
Does the arrow that guides us point to any of the letters,
Nope.
Chase?
Does it make a noise whenever the T is pressed?
Nope.
Okay.
If we look back down the corridor, has the new clone of Mika appeared yet?
No, they have not.
Chase, yes or no?
What?
My whisper.
Uh, yes.
Then yes.
Let me double check real quick.
Okay.
So whisper me. And that's a very simple thing, so you know what to do on the character sheet, correct?
Yes, I did.
All right, cool. Uh, Vleep Vloop.
Yes.
As you're staring at the panel, trying to decide what to do, you gain the confidence in your mind of a certain thought appearing in your head that even though Torque had pressed T, you feel it just is right to hit Q.
So I hit Q then.
All right. So now the first block is T, the second one is Q. The voice comes on for, please enter final letter.
Horthal, put the last letter in.
Horthal, of the alphabet, what letter do you choose?
X.
One moment. Nope. Uh-uh. Let's see here. There we go. So you hit X, and in the final block, well, in each of the blocks, this is what you see.
Orthol, you know press X.
Thank you. You will now be brought to the proper sector. The elevator plummets. The lights go dim, and we'll pick up next time.
Dark screams. It fades out with dark screaming.
It does. And thus ends Paranoia for tonight.
Yay!
Yay!
Yeah, I survived the game without anybody killing me.
Well, thank
Why would
you.
anybody want to kill you?
Real quick,
Even though Aaron tried to.
1 second, everybody.
Seven.
Hey, so
Hold on.
go
So,
ahead, Jason.
I just want to say thank you for joining us tonight, and have a great night, everybody.